I started farming with my father. I worked for him for a few years and bought a farm, and then got started on my own. Right now, we are presently doing a corn, soybean rotations. What we do here, we are doing a strip till. What we're doing is putting fertilizer, P&K, in our strips, and then come back and hitting those in the spring. We just come back and planting into them. We used NutriSphere on approximately, I'd say about 1,800 acres. We used it across the whole gamut, but we left checks is what we did. So the last 200 acres probably amounted to our checks. So we left the company we had spread the fertilizer would spread a load without the NutriSphere, and then the rest of the field usually would go with the NutriSphere. We became interested in the NutriSphere last winter when we were doing the strip till. We've been doing the strip till. We were worried about volatilization, also leaching of the nitrogen. And since we're going to broadcast all our nitrogen over the top, we didn't want, the volatilization was the big issue for us. And so I got looking around at different products that were out there, and that's where we got interested in the NutriSphere and decided to try it. I investigated it last winter, talked to as many people as I could find that had used the product, and decided, we went with it pretty heavy, like I said, most of our acres, and we were very happy with the product. A benefit that we saw to the NutriSphere was compared to other fields around us that did not use it, our corn stayed green longer. We didn't have the stalks taking the nitrogen out of the stalk and weakening the stalk, and so then we did see some yield increase. We did the yield checks. We did see yield increases using less nitrogen. So where we used the 45-gallon rate of nitrogen compared to the 50, we saw up to 12 bushel per acre increase in yield. And it was much better plant health in the end. So I thought that would help in the standability of this corn. If I was talking to another grower, I would tell him about mainly the plant health benefits is what I was most impressed with. Where I did not have the NutriSphere on when we were walking around in the cornfields in August before harvest, my NutriSphere corn that had the NutriSphere on it still had green stalks, very healthy looking. Where the corn that did not have it, I had dead stalks, and I was concerned about lodging at that point when I saw how dead the stalks were. We had a fairly warm spring followed by a lot of rain this year, and I had nitrogen. And the only other people around that, from talking to the DeKalb agronomist who had looked at a lot of fields, and then we came and looked at mine, he was very impressed with how my plants still had nitrogen, where most everybody else, if you had not side dressed anhydrous, you didn't have any nitrogen left. And he said the only fields that we saw in all the checks we looked at in my farm that still had a broadcast rate of N that still had nitrogen come August. So I was very pleased with that and very happy with his response. I'm in Iroquois County here in Illinois. I participate in what they call the EQUIP programs, where I'm doing water management, soil management, I'm doing no-till, and so those are all things that are important to me. So this is just one way to have less nitrogen getting away, through the environment, leaching or volatilizing. So it's just another benefit.